Hi everyone, this is Nadia. I am an occult specialist that uses spiritual intelligence to empower entrepreneurs into an empowered money story and creating a healthy, balanced life for themselves. So today I want to be talking about a really interesting topic which lots of people have asked me about, and it is how to cope and heal with high functioning anxiety, high functioning depression, those kind of really difficult things in our society at present that I think every single person deals with, including myself, at some point in their life. So I've taken a little bit of a break from YouTube, maybe not like a super long one, but I had lots of birthday celebrations for myself. Yeah, February's my birthday month. I had other things going on as well, but this topic really came into my mind and I wanted to sit and talk about it to you guys and also hear your thoughts and opinions and what you have to say. So almost every single person that I personally know in Western society either has depression, either has anxiety, they have something going on mentally, or PTSD, or whatever you want to call it. All of this stuff is interlinked, and it's not as simple as it's a one factor that contributes to it. There's so many and tons of factors that contribute to this issue that I kind of want to cover as many as I can that this video and time permits me. And the first thing I want to start with is social media. Okay, if it is not necessary, you do not need to be on social media. By this, if somehow, somewhere in your life you can cope without social media, don't have accounts, okay? Which is difficult. I mean, I'm saying this, you're watching this on a social media channel, which is YouTube, obviously. If you do need to have social media, I would really encourage you, if you're a business owner, to get a agency or a social media manager or somebody to post something for you. Don't spend a lot of time on it on yourself, and don't get into the habit of comparing yourself with other people and their lives and what they're doing and what they're not doing, because you know it's like Instagram's just become like a show reel. You know, Twitter's just full of like political nonsense. It's just it gets extra. So what happens is that the brain can only handle so much. You have a battery, and then if you're looking at other people's lives, that battery just keeps going down. So social media is one of the major factors of anxiety and the major factors of depression. What is depression? Depression is living in the past. Depression is you somehow in your mind glorifying the past or not being able to move forward from the past. Now this can be very similar to PTSD. However, depression symptoms and PTSD symptoms or complex PTSD symptoms overlap. I should know, I've gone through all of it myself. So please always remember to check up on your clients, check up on your friends, check up people even that you may not be that close to, but just drop people notes, ask them how they are. And don't take it personally if people are not responding to you, like, oh, surely they don't want to talk to me. I wouldn't say that, because sometimes I've reached out to people, they don't want to speak to me, or people have reached out to me and I don't want to speak to them, and it's nothing personal about the person. You're just at a place of your life where anything extra is just, you just can't cope with it. And there are so many of us that are going through different things in life, and please have compassion for it. So how does high functioning anxiety and high functioning depression show up? Well, I've known a lot of successful entrepreneurial people who suffer with heavy bouts of depression and heavy bouts of anxiety. So depression in men usually manifests as anger. See these guys that are just angry all the time, it's actually depression, but they can still get stuff done, because on the vibrational scale of energy and the vibrational scale of emotions, anger is one of those threshold things. Anything below anger is like grief, depression, lethargy, sadness. And if you really want to break out of it fast, then you have to hit anger. From anger goes to rage, and then it starts moving upwards into like acceptance, you know, joy, peace, and then love would be at the highest vibration is love. Okay. So after social media, I would definitely say the next thing that is bugging out people is spending a lot of time on their phone. So technology is a major factor when it comes to anxiety and depression. And anxiety also is living in the future. It's constantly trying to predict the future, which is why when somebody starts worrying, they have anxiety. And there are things that can pop into your head, that stuff has happened maybe with you previously, if you've gone through trauma, you've gone through abuse, and it's like a loop that consistently plays in your head over and over and over again. Now, from an energetic perspective, and I'm not going to sit here as a psychologist, I'm not going to sit here as a psychiatrist, I'm not going to sit here as a medical professional, because truth be told, I'm neither. So I'm not here on this YouTube channel to give people medical advice, because that's not my domain. I'm an occultist, and we use everything energetically based to bring in the life that we want, especially if you're driven entrepreneurially, you have entrepreneurial thinking, business thinking. It can be a lot. You can be so overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Because your mind is fragmented in so many different places, the high functioning anxiety would make you feel like you're never good enough. You always need to perform. You always need to be, you need to perform for other people to get them to like you. When you learn to shed those masks and you truly learn to just find out who you really are, it's not, be yourself is a very difficult thing to say to people, because a lot of people don't know who they are, and that's normal. It took me many years to figure out some sort of semblance or shard of what normality is, and my normality does not look like people who are molded to this social system at all. So there were not people that I could learn normality from. There were the masses, basically, and I have no interest in being that. And neither do you, and that's why you watch this channel. So I started to think to myself, okay, well, how is my own high functioning anxiety showing up? Why is it I'm able to achieve so much? Is it because I feel I need to be able to achieve so much? Is this achievement coming from drive? Is the drive really ambition, or is it trauma that's manifesting itself as my ambition? So there was a lot of questions that I asked myself, and yeah, I got some pretty interesting answers. Okay, so healing it pretty much comes from cleaning your energy fields. Now, when you have low energy, which obviously manifests as depression, coming from the root word of etymology, and everybody in this channel, if you've just joined us, click the little ringy bell button and subscribe, because I talk about etymology so much, the root of words. I talked about dis-ease in a couple of past videos, and today I'm going to talk about depression, depression, deep rest. You need deep rest. Your body is literally out of energy, which is why you're low. You're vibrating a very low. Anything lower than depression is death. That's when the body just, your spirit exits the vessel and you're gone. You can't be on this physical plane. You can't be alive anymore, basically. So when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to depression, you know, being psychically gifted myself and being somebody whose psychic gift is feeling, basically, there have been days that my palms have itched, my heart's raced, my head is pounded, and I don't have a headache. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not dying. Guess what's happened? I've taken on somebody's energy as my own. It can be as simple as interacting in a conversation with somebody. It can be trying to listen to a client's challenges. It's something, and knowing that I'm energetically sensitive impacts me a lot, and it impacts a lot of people watching this channel without them realizing it. Which is why spiritual cleansing is so important. Removing trapped emotions is so important. That's why I created aura cleansers, to be able to clean and flush out your aura. So what happens is, in your auric field, so I want you to think of, where my hands are. So think of the bioelectric magnetic field that's all around me, basically. That's when people psychically, I don't want to say read you because that sounds so intrusive, but when we figure out, we tune in what's going on, it's just all the thought forms that are in the energy field are just coming towards us really quickly, okay? So whether, if somebody's clairvoyant, they're looking at it, whether they're clairsentient like me, they feel it, it's up to that person. I encourage every person to use their intuition as well when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to depression, because a lot of the times that these things are manifesting in your life because you're disconnected from your intuition. Now, there are bigger causes, bigger purposes than social media. Social media is a timeline trap. it can completely ruin and change your life. It can change your life in a good way. Very rarely does it change your life in a good way. It's always the negative, because they are trying to lock humans in a grid that we can't escape from. So over time on this channel, I will be debunking a lot of things that you can be using to help yourself keep in high vibration. So the first thing I usually recommend is energetic cleaning. Now, whether you come to me or Spartanite to have aura cleanses, or you go to somebody else, that doesn't concern me, but I will throw in the link below and you can feel free to check it out. So it's not just your aura, you have your chakras. So you have your 7 points of the body. So going upwards basically, but I'll descend. So number 7 is your head, number 6 is your third eye, number 5 is your throat, number 4 is your heart, number 3 is your belly, number 2 is just above the genitals for men, and for ladies is the womb area, and obviously number 1 is your private area. Okay, so all those need to be in alignment and they need to be spinning. The chakras need to be spinning all the time. If you even have one that is imbalanced or over-functioning or under-functioning, you're going to have problems in that area. So you guys feel free to check it out, do your own research, but that's one of the major issues. Okay, next thing is, and I know they don't like talking, they don't want me to talk about this, is chemtrails, the stuff that they're spraying in a lot of Western countries. I don't know in other countries where it's going, how it's going. I've been, and it's just a whole different story. So Western countries are filled with anxiety and depression because of chemtrails, because of what's in the water and what's in the food. And also a lack of sunlight as well can cause a deeper level of depression, especially in the United Kingdom. We haven't seen sun over here for the last 6 months, and part of it is not because the sun is not coming out, it's because they keep spraying chemtrails to block it. That's one of the reasons they're spraying it. Number 2 is to have complete control over humanity. I will get into that at a later stage. So what do you do when you have high functioning anxiety and high functioning depression? The answer is you're slowing down in every area. You don't slow down because because that's what someone told you. You slow down so you can catch a break, you can breathe, and you can process everything that's going on. If, say for instance, you're in the middle of an anxiety attack or a panic attack, you don't try and like speed shit up. If your heart is pounding, you just drop everything, sit. I've had anxiety attacks sitting in the middle of like a train. I was driving once and I had an anxiety attack. I found the nearest side road. I just sat there for half an hour. I didn't care if I was late. I didn't care anything. My health means more than anything to me. And I had this well before I started doing energy cleanses on myself and aura cleanses and doing heart wall clearings, because people's energies were literally like a depression blanket around me. So if you're energetically sensitive and you very much think with your heart, because I'm like that, I'm like, my heart is just everywhere, it's so big, it just wants to be everywhere, then you're going to take on people's energies really quickly. And aura cleanses will be extremely good, plus heart wall clearings as well, because at each stage of the game in our life we have had different emotions such as disappointment, shame, anxiety, failure, depression, loss, grief, and all that stuff gets trapped in your heart essentially. And our heart is our second brain, and it has its own bioelectric magnetic field, just like the aura. And what happens is when these emotions are released from you, you will start to ascend upwards very naturally, which means in essence you become at a higher frequency. Now, becoming at a higher frequency is important, because when you're at a higher frequency, if you get these emotions that are thrown towards you, or you have them towards you, what ends up happening is that you are able to take care of them better. So if you're entrepreneurially based, you know that we are wearing 50 hats at one go. We got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. You can feel almost like you can't breathe anymore. I really encourage everybody to meditate. Please meditate. If you're not meditating already, please do it, and it's going to help you so much. And with meditation, it'll calm your mind down. And if you're still feeling manic after meditation, it's simply because your aura, your energy body is not clean, and you have to clean your energy body, which is important. The more stuff that is clean from your body, the lighter you're gonna end up feeling, and the lighter you feel, the more depth you'll have as a person. So that might be a bit of a mouthful for a lot of people to get, but you can rewatch this video and you can go back and really listen and let the information sink in. I know there's so many people who look very driven, very, very successful, very whatever it is, but you know what? It's not the healthy drive that's driving them. And I did a video not too long ago. It was on manic success versus focused success. And I want to come back to the same thing. Breath work, eat well, meditate, do yoga, keep your aura clean, and socialize with people that are not toxic. If you're putting your all into something, they're not giving it back, cut it off. It's just not worth it. And remember that you're always building yourself. It's not you're building a business, you're building a life. All of that is a reflection of you. Take care of your health. Make sure that the days that you are feeling low, you do have friends or family. If you are that way inclined, to reach out to them, and make sure you have people that you can speak to for your own mental health, because you know they are going to try and raise the suicide rate in the world. You're going to see a lot of it go up because people just don't have the human connections anymore. So as you're doing these clear rings on yourself, guess what? You can embody the three most important emotions, which are high vibration, which is compassion. You have empathy for other people, love, that's self-explanatory, and forgiveness. And forgiveness is not for other people, it's for yourself. It's nothing to do with other people. You're not forgiving other people. I've never forgiven anybody else in this world. I always forgive myself, and when I forgive myself, I set myself free from that situation, which means that I didn't know any better in that place. It's nothing to do with that person. It's not like I'm letting that person off the hook, or you know, whatever it is. It's you're doing it for yourself. So patience with yourself is very important. We live in a crazy society where people are constantly on the go. They're trying to push themselves all the time. So as much as you're patient with yourself, when you have high functioning anxiety and high functioning depression, it's good that you can get stuff done. But remember that self-care is important. Teaching yourself self-care is the most important thing that you can ever do, because you not only will heal yourself, but you'll heal other people. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and I really appreciate you guys having a patience, because I usually do regular YouTube videos, but yeah, I've been kind of busy this round. And if you have any questions about anything about high functioning depression or anxiety, please feel free to throw it in the chat box below, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. And alternatively, you can like, comment, share, subscribe, and really excited to hear from you. Take care, and I hope to speak with you soon. Bye.